Within the top 100 cryptocurrencies, CRO Coin is within the top 10 movers to the upside today, getting a little bit of a boost. In fact, we are seeing a boost up in the entire crypto market on a day where you would have expected there to be maybe a lot of fear and anxiety. But overnight, there has been a revelation in the broader market that the Fed is making some large moves towards quantitative easing. Today, we have an FOMC meeting later on, which I will be live streaming for you. These moves by the Fed are pumping the crypto market. CRO Coin is actually benefiting more so than some of the other coins in the top 100 today, specifically, and seeing a move to the upside. What can we expect for CRO and what is going on with this news and the Fed making some moves and purchasing treasuries? Well, let's talk a little bit about it. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I'm Crypto Kip. Do me a favor, smash a like, subscribe to the channel for more crypto content, and let's jump right into this tweet right here. So, a lot of people on crypto Twitter are pulling up these PDFs from the Department of Treasury for immediate release. This is from May 6th. You can see SOMA, okay, a SOMA reinvestment. This is right here, a $14.825 billion purchase of treasuries by the Fed. That's on the 6th. On the 5th of May, you saw a $20 billion SOMA reinvestment from the Fed buying treasuries. When the Fed buys treasuries, this is a sign of quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is very, very important if you're holding risk on assets. When the Fed starts moving towards quantitative easing, what we have is a more risk-on appetite environment. As quantitative easing begins, the Fed historically is going to start printing some money. As the Fed starts printing money and as quantitative easing begins, we can expect to see some lower interest rates potentially coming down the pipeline. As lower interest rates come into existence here within the US, then money gets cheaper to borrow and people get more of an appetite for risk on assets, aka Bitcoin and crypto. And we saw $35 billion in treasuries bought this week as a SOMA reinvestment. We haven't seen this much since 2021, which was where we saw the peak of the last bull market, right in time for this crypto market. So on a day where later on, we've got the Fed coming out and likely telling a hawkish story, kind of a bearish story for the crypto markets. Why do I say that? Because if you do look at the odds of a potential rate cut right now, the odds are very low. If I go to the Fed Watch tool, let's go right over to this. You can go in here and you will see in 1 hour and 59 minutes, and I will be live streaming this for you guys, we're going to get a decision, and we're not going to get a rate cut. Right now, there's the target rate, 425 to 450. That's exactly where the Fed interest rate is right now, and that's exactly where it's going to stay after this May meeting. In June, we are likely still going to see it exactly where it's at, and in July, we're going to probably still have a shot at a 0.25% rate cut, but we were looking at maybe 2 rate cuts by July. Not that long ago. Jobs reports came out, things changed. Well, all of a sudden, we've got this news coming out about the Fed buying these treasuries. Maybe we might get an unexpected announcement from the Fed today that might not be so hawkish. They're making some moves. Let's see what he has to say about quantitative easing and these moves that happened over the weekend. I guarantee you there is going to be a question from reporters during this press conference about these purchases from the Fed. And we're going to be very interested to hear that answer. So again, this is a CRO video, yes. Looking at the top moving coins today, Stacks is actually number 1, but looking down, Cronos was 10, now it's number 11. The 11th best performer today, up 5 Why? Well, Bitcoin's up, everything's up. Our total market cap is going up today because of the excitement surrounding, I think, these purchases from the Fed of the treasuries, which is becoming a sort of bullish event. Looking right now at the total market cap, we had a nice little bounce yesterday off of this $2.86 trillion level, and we might be headed up to $3 trillion again. Still having the warning for you guys that the Fed is going to speak in a few short hours. I'm going to be live streaming that for you. There could be some volatility. CRO Coin, why is it coming up today? Because it is definitely at an oversold point. If the overall market starts to come back, Bitcoin starts to boost above 100 and our total market cap starts to roar, there is no doubt in my mind, personally, this is not financial advice, this is my opinion, that CRO Coin, which is totally undervalued, totally oversold right now, should have a large rally, and it could happen rather quickly. Just look back to October, to December and November. That was an insane pump we had. That can happen again, not just for CRO Coin, but for a variety of altcoins. But for CRO, I would not be surprised if Bitcoin started ripping back to highs and our total market cap started taking new highs for us to be at 22 cents like that. We do have the problem still standing in front of us, which is rate cuts are necessary. The good news is the Fed is buying treasuries. That gives us a hint that perhaps maybe we are going to get rate cuts sooner than the Fed watch tool is projecting, sooner than the markets have been expecting with this price action we've seen lately. But it's something you're going to want to continue to watch closely. For now, as long as Bitcoin's holding above like 88K, I don't really expect CRO Coin to break back down below 6.9, call it 7 cents. But if Bitcoin continues to move up, there's no reason that we couldn't see CRO Coin start to absolutely soar here. We've had a lot of chop in these levels for an extended period of time. CRO Coin likes to sit from 9 to 7 cents. It's been there for a while. It could still stay there for a while as we're waiting for the rate cuts and not getting them quite yet. Maybe we hang out in this range for a little bit. But if all of a sudden the Fed comes out and he presents a bullish scenario for these markets, or, the Fed is really starting to move aggressively towards quantitative easing, then maybe we do have a bullish narrative coming. At the end of the day, $35 billion in purchases of treasuries for the Fed sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. $35 billion is a lot of money. But for the Fed, it's actually not a insane amount of money. It is one of the largest purchases they've had in a while, so it's definitely a good thing, but we got to keep a close eye on this. If you want to do some trading on the volatility of the Fed meeting later today, whether it's for CRO Coin or for Bitcoin, which, hey, could hit 500K, a million this cycle, you guys could sign up for Blowfin using our link in the description down below, up to a $5,000 deposit bonus, and you sign up for Blowfin if you want to check it out. As for CRO, super happy to see it being a big mover today. There's no reason why this coin shouldn't soar later on. Crypto.com is such a successful exchange. You can trade CRO on Blowfin. You can trade all your favorite coins here if you want to trade the volatility, so check it out if you haven't done so. I'm Crypto Kip. This is the Crypto Report. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, DCA, hold on, my friends. Of course, I'll see you in the next one. 2 videos here if you want to check them out. I'll see you next time, guys. Live stream coming up later today. Tune in. I'll see you then. Peace.